Hey everybody, final thoughts time for Shadows over the Empire. Okay, let's see now where to start. Well, I guess, okay, positives and negatives. First of all, the good stuff. Well, right off the bat, this game is gorgeous. Even though I've got a, kind of a poorly printed, kind of bland, or there's too much red in it or something like that, the things don't really quite pop as much as they should. Even still, I mean, these cards, when it's laid out on the table, it's just gorgeous. It has great table presence, I guess, for lack of a better term. I mean, actually, during our first game, Jen just kept saying over and over, it's so pretty. It's really gorgeous to look at. And and thematically, it's so strong as well. I really appreciate. I mean, how the mechanisms and functions that these characters can do is so perfectly married to who they are and what their station is in life. Like, the troubadour, she moves around, she swaps characters and then sings a song that rejuvenates somebody so they can get their job done. Or, excuse me. The florist is really cool because, what can she do? What can Hortense the florist do? Well, she can reach all the way across the board and cause somebody else to tap. So, they're knocked out. They can't do anything. How can she do that? Well, she's a florist, so she probably sent them some flowers laced with something, some poison or some sleeping gas or something. Well, how do we know she does that? Because she is unlawful. She is ready to break the law. And I just think that is so clever, and I so respect that kind of attention to detail that, the theme and the story of these characters is reflected, even in the traits that they have. I just think that's really great. And it really helps tell a story. It makes it feel more like a story is playing out in front of you as, all these machinations of, this person falls and this person does this and that and the other. Really nice. And then, another really strong element of the game, the speed. This game is fast. Even if you're going to play with 4 players, it'll be over super duper quick. And, and that is awesome because I can't think of a game that is quite this heavy, quite this meaty, because there is a lot of stuff you can do. There's so much to chew on, so many different characters on the board. With more players, even more characters, with so many different powers. And even though you only have, it's very simple, you either influence somebody or you use somebody's special ability, there are so much for you to think about, so much to grind on, so many possibilities. And yet the game is over so quick. And it's not over just because, somebody just steamrolls somebody else and they never had a chance. This game, it does feel like there's a satisfactory conclusion. It does build up just super duper fast. Just going from the first to the second round, you get on an express elevator, and things just take off so quick. And what started out, I often talk about escalation games, how I really appreciate that. This game just escalates super fast. I go from at the beginning just having one character and getting to do one thing to just constantly doing all these incredible combo chains from this character lets me do this to this to this to this. And it's very satisfying when you pull that off. Really top-notch stuff. Fun, and it's so quick, you'll definitely, it's either the ultimate heavy filler. I can think of a filler that I've ever played that's this heavy, or it's so short, you'll want to play again. Either you'll be feeling hugely triumphant, I figured it out, I solved the puzzle, I did it, and you'll want to play again, or you'll be looking for payback and you'll want to play again because it was so quick. Yeah, let's just reshuffle the cards, throw a new deck out there, a new table out there, and let's try it again. So, and another thing that's positive too, the flexibility, the variety of this game. This game, I didn't talk about it in the video, comes with all the cards you saw, and then about 5,000 bajillion more. There's just tons and tons and tons and tons of cards. I was only playing with the A cards. If you look in the bottom right corner, they all these things, where is it? They have an A. The A cards mean I was playing the easy game or the standard game. And and the standard game was pretty complicated. There was a lot to think about and a lot of choices to make. But you start throwing in some of the B cards or some of the C cards and things can get really complicated, for lack of a better term. And it's not just complexity for complexity's sake. There are characters who have completely new abilities that are unlike characters who slowly over time build up these tokens so they can deploy them, and characters who have no traits at all. They are not religious, they're not lawful, they're not royalty, and they're not rich. So and so suddenly influencing them works in a completely different way than anybody else because you can influence them, but you get no traits. And and they're not just different characters you can control, different starting characters who become more complicated as well to give you more powers, more flexibility. And and there's special rules. You can just introduce a little bit more complexity, or a lot more complexity, or crazy through the roof complexity. So this game can grow with you. If you get to the point where you feel like you're an expert, hey, just throw in some B's. When you're an expert, throw in some C's. This game just constantly can grow. And so, again, another really big thumbs up, a big feather in the cap for Shadows of the Empire. Now, if there was to say anything negative about it, I'm almost loath to even say this because it's such a dumb little thing, but it does bother me. And actually, I talked to the guys about it, and they said, yeah, it's a fair point, but it's already gone to press. There's nothing we can do about it. It really bothers me that these tokens, which are the ones you put down, you put these tokens down to indicate that that character cannot influence anybody. What are they called? Influence tokens. To me, that makes no sense. That's like the exact opposite of what they are. They're no influence tokens. You can't influence anybody, but they're called influence tokens. Now, that's not so bad, except a lot of cards say, and I know Jen had a problem with this, even after she understood it, she would still run into problems where it said, okay, I've moved this person over, that means I can remove an influence token. I'm going to take your influence token. No, honey. That is not an influence token. That is a player token. You can take this off instead. And it's like, but, So that is just an unfortunate phrase. It's not that big a deal. You get used to it, but it was like one small misstep. And honestly, that's about it's the only misstep I can see about this game. Everything else is just rock solid. Now, so I don't have any negatives to say. But what I will say is I don't know if this game is for everybody, particularly because this is all tactics. This is not the kind of game where you play because, on turn 1 I've set this plan into motion, and on turn 30 it all comes together. That is not this game. This game is, okay, I've set a plan in motion on turn 1, and by turn 3 the world has changed and I got to come up with a new plan. Yeah, there's a high level strategy of, are you going to go for the prince or are you going to go for no conflicts? But even still, this world is so fluid. Things change so much that it's all about tactics. And for some players who prefer strategy to tactics, that might be an issue. And then also, the other thing is, this game is very pretty, very inviting. And at first glance, it seems like, oh, I get it. I either influence somebody or I do an action or I do their action. That's it. Simple. Anybody can play this. This game is harsh. This game is heavy. This is a heavy, heavy game. And if you're looking for a light, quick game, this isn't it. This is a heavy, fast game, which is pretty rare. And so I think that's really unique because I think, all the Vulcans and, human computers out there who want something really brain burnery, I'm sure they would appreciate having a fast game too instead of some big epic 3-hour-long game. But, a lot of times when people are looking for a quick game, they're also looking for a lighter game, and this is heavy. So that's something to bear in mind, that it's tactical, it's not strategic, it's super heavy, super complex. When you have a table full of cards out there and all these cards can do unique different things and you control a few of them, your opponent controls, and there's so many different permutations of how things can go, it really gives your brain a workout. And so that might be something to bear in mind. Don't be fooled by the pretty pictures. This game requires some pretty heavy lifting. So that's something to bear in mind too. That might be an issue for you, but otherwise, on the flip side, if you are looking for something that really stresses your gray matter, is fast and fun. It's silly to say, I would actually call this game action-packed. It feels almost like an action game. Things just go so quick and the world changes so much. It almost feels, well, it does not like a video game, but it kind of engenders that feeling. And certainly when the game is over, you are ready for a rematch, definitely. And with all the additional cards, all the future expandability, this game's got a lot going for it. That is Shadows over the Empire. I apologize to anybody who might have watched this video and been confused as heck because it was so complex as I was trying to explain everything. But hopefully this video did a good job giving you an idea of what it feels like to play, the tactical decisions, the gut-wrenching decisions. What should I do? But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, please leave comments, and I'll be more than happy to talk about it. The Kickstarter link is in the notes. It's also on screen right now if you want to go check out the Kickstarter page. Artipia always does a great job on Kickstarter campaigns. Lots of great, there are still a ton of bonuses for Among the Stars that people can't get now that they want desperately. So if you're interested in stretch goals, all that stuff, definitely go check it out. Otherwise, my work here is done. That was Shadows over the Empire. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.